Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. WECKO Triple H has reacted to a massive title change on tonight's episode of SmackDown. On the Blue brand, the Street Profits defeated #DIY to become the new WWE Tag Team Champions. It had been quite some time since the Street Profits held WWE Gold. Their long wait finally ended tonight as they defeated #DIY to capture the WWE Tag Team titles on SmackDown. Triple H took to his X handle shortly after to react to the Street Profits' big win. Here's what he wrote. On the March 2, 2020 episode of WWE Raw, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins defeated Murphy and Seth Rollins to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. They held the belts for almost a year, and during this reign, traded the title belts with the New Day during their move to SmackDown as a part of the WWE Draft. The Street Profits finally lost their title belts to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. The title change took place on the January 8, 2021 episode of SmackDown. After a 4-year drought of 26 days, the popular duo has finally captured WWE Gold again. Triple H's message: the triumph of patience and perseverance. The spotlight shone brightly over the ring, reflecting off the glistening gold of the WWE Championship belts, now securely draped over the shoulders of two warriors. The roar of the crowd was deafening, reverberating through every corner of the arena. For over 1,500 days, they had fought, boiled, and persevered through setbacks, obstacles, and heartache, always with the same goal in mind: to finally hold the gold, to become champions in the truest sense of the word. Tonight, it wasn't just about the titles. It was about what those titles represented: the culmination of years of determination, dedication, and an unyielding belief that they could overcome the odds. And now, standing tall in the ring, they had done it. It had been a long journey for both men, and perhaps no one understood that better than Triple H backstage. Hunter was watching it all unfold, his expression a mixture of pride and respect. He had seen these men rise through the ranks, face adversity, and prove that greatness was not an overnight achievement. It took years of hard work, sometimes in silence, but always with purpose. After all, Triple H knew what it was like to fight for something that seemed out of reach, to claw his way to the top through a sea of obstacles. He had done it himself. And as he stood there watching the celebration in the ring, he couldn't help but think about the message he wanted to send to these men and to the entire WWE universe. This was no ordinary victory. This was history being made. And Triple H knew that, as a leader, mentor, and part of the very fabric of WWE, it was his responsibility to make sure the right words were spoken at this moment. Triple H's message to WWE Universe. WWE Universe, tonight, we witnessed something truly special. The camera zoomed in on Triple H's face, his expression serious but tinged with pride. He stood in front of a simple backdrop, the iconic WWE logo glowing softly behind him. For over 1,500 days, these two men have fought for this moment. They'd fought in the ring, they'd fought through injuries, setbacks, and doubts. They fought in a world where success is not guaranteed, where every step forward is met with resistance, and where the price of failure can cost you everything. But through it all, they never wavered. They never gave up. And tonight, they stand as champions. Hunter paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. The screen cut to clips of both stars, images of their struggles, their triumphs, and the pivotal moments that had led them to this very night. Their journey was far from simple. It was filled with defeats, moments of self-doubt, and the crushing realization that greatness was often just out of reach. But they had persisted. When they first arrived here, they weren't handed anything. No shortcuts, no easy routes. They were forced to prove themselves in every way imaginable. And along the way, they encountered some of the toughest competitors in the world. They faced adversity that would break most people, but not them. They stood tall, fought back, and earned their place at the top of this company. The screen shifted again, showing the incredible final moments of the match. The ring was filled with chaos, bodies everywhere, and it seemed like the odds were against the two competitors. But with a surge of energy, the final blow was struck, and the referee's hand slapped the mat for the 3 count. And in that moment, when the bell rang and the referee raised their hands in victory, something more than just the titles was achieved. It was the validation of a journey, the proof that hard work, dedication, and resilience can overcome even the most daunting of challenges. It wasn't just about winning the gold. It was about proving to themselves and to the world that they belong here. They are champions. A look back at the journey. The early days, when these two stars first set foot in WWE, there was no guarantee that they would ever make it to the top. Their paths were filled with uncertainty, the challenges of the road ahead often outweighing the glory they hoped to achieve. They faced veterans who had already carved out their legacies, and to the casual observer, it might have seemed like their paths were set in stone. Stars who were destined to stay in the middle of the card, never quite reaching the pinnacle. But that wasn't going to be the case for these two. They had something that couldn't be measured by statistics or accolades, a relentless drive to be the best. They trained harder. They studied the greats. They refined their craft until every movement in the ring was an extension of their passion and ambition. And along the way, they found themselves in some of the most memorable matches and storylines, earning the respect of their peers and the WWE Universe alike. But even then, the ultimate prize, the WWE Championship, seemed to be out of reach. They fought in high-profile matches, won prestigious tournaments, but still the gold eluded them. But that's the nature of the business. Success is never a straight line. The struggles. In the years that followed, both stars faced their share of setbacks. Injuries, doubts, betrayals. All of these played their part in keeping them from reaching their goals. But each time they were knocked down, they got back up. Perhaps it was their grit, their refusal to stay down that set them apart. They never turned their backs on their goals, even when it seemed like they were destined to fall short. Triple H, as a mentor and leader, had seen firsthand what these challenges could do to a person. He had been there too. He had faced the critics, the doubters, and the moments when the weight of the world seemed unbearable. But it was in those moments that the true champions emerged, not in the victories, but in how they rose after every defeat. And these two men? They never stopped fighting. They never stopped pushing. Even when the WWE Universe seemed to have forgotten about them, they kept their heads down and continued to chase the dream. The turning point. Then came the turning point. After years of watching others hold the gold, after enduring the frustration of coming so close and yet so far, both men began to realize something. They were not the same people who had started this journey. They had evolved, both as wrestlers and as individuals. They had learned from every defeat, every loss, and every setback. The realization came in different moments, but it was clear. They had finally grown into the champions they had always aspired to be. And so, when the opportunity to challenge for the WWE Championship finally arrived, there was no hesitation. No doubt. They knew what they had to do. The journey had been long, and the odds had been against them. But as Triple H watched them step into that ring, he knew they had become the men they were meant to be. Tonight, they were not just contenders. They were champions in every sense of the word. Triple H's final words. Tonight, we witnessed the power of perseverance. We saw two men who have fought for over 1,500 days finally claim what they had always dreamed of. The gold that had eluded them, the glory that had seemed so far away, is now theirs. But it's not just about the titles. It's about everything they had to endure to get here. The journey, the struggle, the sacrifices, the blood, sweat, and tears. That's what made tonight possible. Triple H's eyes darkened slightly as he spoke with reverence. These two men stand as a testament to the fact that nothing in this company or in life comes easily. There are no shortcuts. But if you have the heart, the drive, and the willingness to never give up, you too can reach the top. Tonight, they've earned their place in history. And as they celebrate their victory, let it be a reminder to everyone, nothing is impossible. The screen flickered briefly, then showed the two newly crowned champions celebrating in the ring, the WWE Championship belts raised high. To those two men, congratulations. You've earned it. This is just the beginning. With that, Triple H gave a final nod to the camera before walking off screen, leaving behind a moment that would live in WWE history forever. The next night, as WWE fans packed into arenas across the world, the legacy of these two stars, now champions, would be etched into the annals of the company. The road to gold was long, but it had been worth every moment. For in the end, it was not just the titles they held that made them great. It was the story they told with every match, every fight, every drop of sweat. And for Triple H, as a mentor, as a leader, and as a fan of the business, there was no greater feeling than watching the next generation of stars finally take their place at the top. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.